What's up? What's up, y'all? Okay, come on in because we're about to tap into this energy, and baby, the very first card already got me looking sideways. Whatever speaks to you, take it as reflection, and whatever doesn't, leave it right where it is. Spirit of clarity, protect this space and let this message reveal what needs to be seen. Okay, King of Swords reversed. Hold on, because why would he come out first? Baby, somebody is trying way too hard not to show their hand. And I'm using this card symbolically, because the King of Swords reversed can represent somebody whose mind stays 10 steps ahead, somebody guarded, somebody who thinks before they feel, or at least tries to. This masculine energy feels controlled, strategic, observant. He ain't just opening his mouth telling you everything he feels. Matter of fact, you might have looked at this man and thought, does he even like me like that girl? That is not the question. The question is, why is he studying you so hard? Because I'm picking up somebody who has learned not to reveal what he has too quickly. Not just emotionally either. Financially. Wait a minute. See, I wasn't even trying to go there yet. This man could dress simple. Drive something nice, but not flashy. He might mention work without telling you exactly what position he holds. You ask him what he does, and he gives you that little vague answer like, oh, I'm in management. Or, I handle some business. Handle some business where, sir? Because something about this energy says this man is more established than he lets people know. But there's a reason he moves like that. This is somebody who may have experienced people liking the access more than they like the person. So now he watches. He watches how you treat the waiter. He watches whether you always expect somebody else to pay. He listens when you talk about money. He notices whether you're building something for yourself. And baby, here's the part that caught me. You are confusing him because you're not asking him for anything. And instead of making him relax, it's making him want to do more. See, this is what I'm talking about. Some of y'all been so used to carrying everything yourself that receiving help almost makes you uncomfortable. You'll be sitting there stressed about an expense and still say, I got it. Meanwhile, this man is looking at you thinking, why won't she just let me handle it? And we are not even at the money card yet. So what is about to come out next? Okay. Knight of Wands reversed, baby. Now why did this come out? Because remember what I just said, this man is looking at you like, why won't she just let me handle it? And then we get the Knight of Wands reversed. So symbolically, this is somebody who is fighting the urge to move too fast. That's what I'm seeing. Because part of him wants to just come in and do something, fix something, handle something, make something easier. But he's stopping himself because he does not want you looking at him sideways like, sir, why are you doing all that? Girl, he already knows you. He knows you will question it. He knows you're gonna be like, no, I'm good. I already paid it. I can take care of it. And meanwhile, he's sitting there irritated because that was not the point. The point wasn't whether you could afford it. The point was he wanted to do it for you. See? That's different. And I feel like he has been collecting little pieces of information without you even realizing it. You could casually say something like, I gotta take my car in this week. And you moved on. You forgot you even said it. He didn't. Now he's wondering what's wrong with the car. How much is that gonna cost? When are you taking it in? Do you need a ride? And you're over there thinking this was regular conversation. No, he was listening. Some of you mentioned groceries went up. You mentioned a business expense. You mentioned helping somebody in your family. You mentioned that rent, mortgage, insurance, whatever keeps hitting at the same time every month. And because you don't say it like, please help me, he notices it even more. Because this energy is not attracted to somebody pretending to be helpless. It's the opposite. He sees that you can carry it. He just doesn't understand why you should have to carry all of it when he has the ability to contribute. Wait, because that is what this Knight reversed is giving me. He is restraining himself. He may actually be worried that if he comes on too strong, financially, emotionally, practically, you're going to think there's an agenda attached. And considering what we already saw with that King of Swords reversed, he knows exactly what it feels like when people have an agenda. So he does not want his generosity mistaken for one. Baby, this is bigger than somebody buying you dinner. Dinner is easy. I'm talking about somebody noticing the expenses that follow you home. The stuff nobody sees. The stuff you handle quietly. And something about watching you do all of that is affecting him emotionally. Because paying for something is not even the surprising part. The surprising part is why he wants your life to feel easier in the first place. And baby, that's what I need to see next. Okay, High Priestess reversed. Girl, now this makes sense, because the High Priestess reversed, symbolically, can point to somebody who keeps too much inside. You don't always say when something is bothering you. You don't always announce when you need help. Matter of fact, some of y'all will be halfway irritated, halfway exhausted, looking at an expense like, whatever, I'll figure it out. And then you do. That's the problem. You always figure it out. So everybody got used to thinking you don't need anything. But he's noticing something different. He's noticing the little pause before you say, it's fine. Baby, it is not fine. He sees you calculating. You ever been sitting there and somebody mentions a price, and immediately your eyes go somewhere else because now you're doing mathematics in your head? Okay. He caught that. You reach for your card before the check even hits the table. He caught that too. He offers something and you immediately go, no, you don't have to. Who said he had to? See, that's where you'll keep missing each other, because you hear an offer and think obligation. He makes an offer and thinks intimacy. Wait, let me say that again. For this masculine energy, being allowed to contribute may actually feel like being allowed closer to you. Not controlling you, not rescuing you, just being included. Because right now, you handle everything so quietly that he almost has to investigate to figure out when you're under pressure. You could have 3 things due. Somebody in your family needing something, an unexpected expense popping up, and you still answer the phone like, hey, what you doing, girl? Meanwhile, your bank app is open in the background. And what's interesting is he doesn't seem turned off by your independence. He respects it. That may actually be part of why he likes you. But there's frustration mixed in because he's thinking, okay, I know she can do it. But why does she keep acting like she has to do everything alone? And baby, the High Priestess reversed is making me feel like some of you don't even realize how automatic this is. You don't ask, you adjust, you rearrange, you sacrifice something else, you make it work, and then you call that normal. He's seeing it, and that desire to help, it's getting stronger because now it's not just about money. He wants to know whether you trust him enough to let him show up. And I don't know why I'm getting this so strongly, but somebody here may already have a man asking little questions that seem random. How much is that every month? When is that due? You still dealing with that? Why do you need to know, sir, baby? Because I don't think he's just asking. I think he may already be putting something together. And whatever he's planning, you might not find out until it's already handled. And look what comes out. King of Wands. Oh, okay. Sir has made a decision. Because this is not giving me somebody sitting around wondering forever. Symbolically, the King of Wands can be somebody who sees what he wants, gets clear about it, and then starts figuring out how to make something happen. And remember who came out first. King of Swords reversed. So we already know he thinks before he speaks. Now you're giving me King of Wands? Baby, he may have gone from studying you to making a plan. That's different. And I don't necessarily mean he's about to randomly throw money at you. No. This feels practical, structured. Like he has identified one thing in your life that keeps creating unnecessary pressure, and he's thinking, I could take care of that. Maybe it's that car situation you keep putting off. Maybe it's one particular bill that irritates you every month. Maybe you've been talking about needing something for your business, your home, your work. Something you absolutely can buy yourself. But you keep saying, "I'll get to it." And he's sitting there like, "Why are we still talking about this? Wait. Some of those questions he asked you before might make sense now. How much does that cost? How often do you have to pay that? You still haven't replaced that. At the time, you probably thought he was just being nosy. Baby, I don't know, because this King of Wands is looking real intentional. He may have been collecting information. Not in a creepy way. More like somebody trying to understand where he could actually make a difference instead of doing some flashy thing you don't even need. Because flowers are nice. Dinner is nice. A cute gift is nice. But this energy feels like, what can I remove from your plate? That's a completely different conversation. And because he's strategic, I don't think he necessarily wants a whole speech about it first. You may get a very simple, "Don't worry about that this month. Excuse me," or "Go get it fixed." "I got it, sir. Since when?" And then here you go. "I can pay for it." Girl, we know. That is not what he asked you. See? He's trying to create breathing room. Not because he thinks you're incapable. Because he sees how much you already handle. And he's starting to think in terms of consistency. How can I make this easier? How can I make sure she's good? How can I contribute without making her feel like I'm trying to own something? And baby, there's something else here. Because I feel like he's getting closer to acting on this. But there is one thing about you that could make him pull that hand right back. And I already know some of y'all are not gonna like what it is. And there it is. The Fool. Girl, now don't get mad at me, because this is exactly what I was talking about. Symbolically, the Fool can be about taking a chance. Stepping into something without having every guarantee first. And for some of y'all, that is the part you do not like. You want receipts. You want consistency. You want to know what the catch is. And listen, I'm not telling you to throw discernment out the window. Absolutely not. But there is a difference between being discerning and making somebody prove themselves forever because you're scared to need them. There it is. Because some of you don't say, "I'm scared to be disappointed." You say, "I don't need anybody." Baby, those are not always the same thing, and he can feel that wall. You might think you're just being responsible. Meanwhile, he offers to do something, and you're already figuring out how fast you can pay him back. He sends you something, and now you're uncomfortable. You're like, okay. So what does he want? Girl, maybe he wants you to say thank you. That's it. Maybe he wants to know that every act of care does not have to turn into a negotiation. But here's what makes this interesting. He's guarded too. Remember that King of Swords reversed. He has his own reasons for watching. So while you're thinking, can I trust him enough to receive this? He's thinking, can I trust her enough to give without her assuming the worst about me? Both of y'all standing there suspicious, looking at each other. Nobody moving. This is ridiculous. But emotionally, it makes sense. Because money is not really the issue anymore. Trust is. If you let him cover something, you're not just accepting money. You may be saying, I believe you can show up without using this against me later. And if he gives without controlling you, he may be saying, I believe you value me beyond what I can provide. See how deep this got? And the Fool is sitting here like somebody eventually has to take one small risk. Not a reckless risk. Not handing over your whole life. Just enough openness to see what happens when you don't automatically shut the door. Because I feel like something is about to move this out of conversation. You're not going to have time to sit there and analyze it for 3 business days. Something practical may happen. An expense. A problem. Something you normally would handle yourself. And this time, he may step in before you can say, I got it. And baby, how you respond in that moment is about to tell both of you everything. And baby, the devil, Oh, okay. Now before anybody gets nervous, remember, I'm using this symbolically, because the devil can point to attachment, desire, something that has a hold on you. And in this situation, I don't think the hold is the bill. I think it's the way you've gotten used to carrying pressure like it's normal. See, this is what I mean. Something could happen that is not even catastrophic. Your car needs something. Your insurance jumps. Something in the house needs fixing. A work expense hits at the wrong time. And you're already doing what you always do. Opening the calculator, moving money around, saying, okay, if I pay this now, then I can push that until Friday, girl. And here he comes. How much is it? You're gonna say, it's fine. He didn't ask you if it was fine. How much? And I can almost see some of y'all staring at this man like, why? Because you're trying to figure out what the transaction is. What does this mean? What do I owe? What is he expecting later? And that is where this devil energy gets interesting. Because he may be watching whether you can receive something without immediately attaching fear to it. Not because he wants control. If anything, a healthy version of this energy would require the opposite. He handles something and leaves it there. No reminder, no scoreboard. No, remember what I did for you. None of that. Because if he pays something and then uses it to control you, girl, absolutely not. That is not generosity. But this feels more like somebody saying, send it to me. And you're still typing a paragraph explaining why you can handle it. Baby, delete the paragraph. Just for a second. Because imagine you've been stressing about something for 3 days, and he handles it in 3 minutes. Not because he's trying to impress you, because seeing you relax does something for him. That's the part. The amount might not even be what matters. It could start with one practical thing, then another month he says, I'll take care of that one. Then you start realizing, wait, this man likes creating space in my life. He likes knowing you're not lying awake thinking about some stupid bill. He likes watching your shoulders come down, and that is where the energy shifts. Because casual dating usually stays in the fun stuff. Dinner, drinks, going out. But somebody who starts paying attention to what affects your actual day-to-day life. Baby, now we're entering another category. And I'm looking at this devil like, why does this man seem so attached to the idea of making sure you're good? Because I don't think he's viewing you like somebody he's just passing time with anymore. And whatever comes out next, it's about to tell us exactly where he thinks you belong. The Hierophant. Oh, baby. Wait a minute. Because that is not casual, and I'm using this card symbolically. But the Hierophant can speak to commitment, structure, doing something with intention, building something that actually has a place in your life. So now I'm looking back at everything else and going, oh, that's why he's watching so hard. That's why he's not just throwing money around. That's why he wants to know how you move before he shows you everything he has. Because paying one bill? Cute. Nice gesture. That alone does not mean somebody is serious about you. But when a man starts paying attention to your routine, your responsibilities, what you're building, where you see yourself 6 months from now. Okay, now we're talking about something else. He may be wondering how you fit into his actual life. Not just Friday night, not just when he's bored, his life. Can you two move in the same direction? Do your values match? Can you build something without competing with each other? Can you handle money together without it becoming weird? Can you make decisions together? Baby, that is very different from what you doing tonight. And some of y'all may have already noticed little clues. He talks about something happening months from now and automatically includes you. He starts telling you about family situations. He asks what you want your life to look like. He wants to know whether you plan on staying where you are. He asks about your business, your career, your goals. And you're thinking, why are you interviewing me, girl? Because psychologically, he may be trying to figure out whether this connection can actually hold weight. And here's another thing. Remember how secretive he felt in the beginning? He may not have wanted you knowing exactly what he earns, owns, has access to, any of that, until he could see whether you were interested in him. So now that he's realizing you didn't come in demanding anything, that probably changed something. Because provision may not feel like showing off anymore. It starts feeling like building. Like, if you're going to be part of my life, I want your life to be easier too. There it is. But baby, the Hierophant also makes this more vulnerable. Because if this was just casual, what does he really have to lose? Not much. But once he starts imagining you as a real partner, now your opinion matters. Now rejection matters. Now getting it wrong matters. And that could explain some of those mixed signals. The moments he gets close, then goes quiet. The moment he almost says something, then switches the subject. Because I don't think this man is only afraid of being used. I think there's something he is genuinely afraid to ADM it to you. And baby, I need to see what he's been trying so hard not to say. And baby, 3 of Pentacles reversed. Oh, okay. Now this is interesting. Because symbolically, the 3 of Pentacles reversed can point to somebody who is not used to working with another person. Not because they can't. Because they're used to doing it their way, alone. And I feel like that could be both of you. Wait. Because now I'm seeing why that King of Swords reversed came out first. This man may look emotionally detached sometimes, because talking about what he feels is not where he feels the most confident. But give him a problem? Oh, he knows what to do. Your tire is messed up. He got a solution. You need a flight changed? He's already looked. Something went wrong with the house. He knows somebody. You mention an expense. He's asking for the amount. But ask him, so how do you really feel about me? Silence. Sir? Hello? See what I mean? Handling something practical may be easier for him than saying, I care about you more than I expected to. That's what this is starting to feel like. Because I don't think the money is the whole language here. I think usefulness is. He wants to know he has a place. He wants to feel like when something happens in your life, you think, let me call him. Not because you're helpless. Because he's your person. Girl, that's different. And the 3 of Pentacles reversed makes me wonder if he's afraid there's no room for him to become that. Because you solve it first. You call somebody else. You pay it. You fix it. Then later you tell him what happened like it's already old news. And he's probably sitting there thinking, why didn't you tell me? And you're like, for what? It's handled. For what? Baby, he wanted to be included. And I'm not saying this as certainty about any particular person. I'm reading the symbolism. But psychologically, this could be somebody whose attachment shows up through contribution. He may not know how to say, I want to matter in your everyday life. So instead he says, did you eat? Did you get that taken care of? How much do you need? Text me when you get there. That may be the confession. Because underneath all this provider energy, I'm seeing something softer. He may admire how strong you are. But he doesn't want your strength to mean he can never support you. He wants to be useful without being used. Close without losing control. Needed without feeling like a wallet. And baby, that is why this is getting emotional. Because we started with, does he want to help you? But that's not even the real question anymore. The real question is, what happens when you actually let him? King of Pentacles. Baby. There it is, there it is. Because we have been talking about somebody wanting to make your life easier this whole time, and now the King of Pentacles comes out. Okay. Now this is starting to come together. And symbolically, this is not just money. It's stability. Consistency. Somebody who understands that providing is not about throwing cash around one time and disappearing. It's about being dependable. And that is the difference. Because listen, the message is not, stop doing everything and wait for a man to come finance your existence. No, that is not what I'm seeing. Your independence is part of what caught his attention in the first place. You have goals. You handle your business. You know how to make things happen. He likes that. But partnership does not mean you have to prove how strong you are every 5 minutes. Girl, you can afford the bill and still let somebody say, "Keep your money this month." Both things can be true. You can be ambitious and still let somebody make your life more comfortable. You can receive without handing over your power. And he can provide without acting like he owns you. Because if somebody gives you something and then starts keeping score, that is not this healthy King of Pentacles energy. This is more like, I'm doing this because we're a team. Wait, a team, that's the word. Because now all these other cards make sense. The watching, the questions, the hesitation, the practical problem solving, the way he wants to know what needs fixing, the way he notices what stresses you out. He may not be thinking, how can I impress her? He may be thinking, how can we make this life run better, baby? That is grown. And yes, for some of you, the bills theme could literally show up as somebody taking more practical weight off your plate. Maybe one recurring expense, maybe several things over time. But the real abundance here is not just the money. It's consistency. It's knowing somebody is going to answer the phone. It's somebody saying, I got it, and you actually believing them. It's not having to explain every little thing, not having to carry every emergency alone, not having to stay in survival mode just because you know how. And girl, I know some of y'all are already like, so what do I need to do? Nothing crazy. That is actually the next message. Because I need you to hear this before you start thinking you have to chase this man. Prove you deserve it, act helpless, or perform some version of yourself to keep him interested. Baby, you do not need to audition for what is genuinely meant to meet you with consistency. And I feel like this final card is about to make that very clear. And look what comes out. The Empress reversed. Baby, there it is. Because if this card had come out upright, we could talk about receiving, abundance, being cared for, all of that. But reversed? This is making me look directly at the part of you that might struggle to believe you can receive without earning it first. See? There's the final message. Some of y'all are so used to being valuable because of what you do, what you fix, what you provide, what you tolerate, what you hold together, that somebody simply wanting to make your life easier can feel suspicious. Like, okay, but what am I supposed to do back, baby? Maybe nothing. Maybe say thank you. Maybe let the man pay the bill without snatching your card out like you're in an Olympic event. Girl, put the wallet down. And again, I'm not saying ignore red flags. No. If somebody gives and then controls, that's not care. If somebody pays and then believes they purchased access to you, absolutely not. If generosity becomes leverage, But healthy support should not make you smaller. That's the point. You should still have your goals, your money, your voice, your boundaries, your choices. And somebody loving you well should add stability to that, not take your independence away. So now let's look at this whole thing. That man watching quietly, giving those vague little answers about what he does. I handle some business, sir. We remember. You automatically saying, I got it. Him wanting to know why you won't let him handle anything. Both of you studying each other because neither one wants to be used. It all comes back to trust. He may have been slow to show what he has because he wanted to see whether you liked him before you liked the access. And you may have been slow to receive because you wanted to see whether kindness came with strings. Fair, both sides. But eventually, actions have to answer the questions. Consistency answers, respect answers. Showing up without keeping score answers. And baby, if somebody genuinely wants to take some practical weight off your shoulders, you do not have to suddenly become helpless to let that happen. You don't have to manufacture struggle. You don't have to chase him. You don't have to convince him you're worthy of provision. And you definitely don't need to perform some little perfect woman routine hoping he chooses you. No, let him show you who he is. And you stay who you are. Because yes, somebody may want to pay that bill. Maybe even more than one. But the bigger blessing is being with somebody who makes you realize you were never supposed to carry the whole relationship, the whole household, the whole emotional load, the whole life by yourself. And girl, the next time somebody trustworthy says, "I got it," maybe don't argue for 20 minutes. Just look at that man and say, "Okay," because real care should feel like support, not control. And receiving love should never require losing yourself.